All right, folks, walking in to Premier Lux Cinema 8 and Pizza Pub here in Plant City for Deadpool and Wolverine.
That's right.
Really excited to check this one out. Carson's not crazy about the first two Deadpools.
Nope, don't like them.
But this one, it could change the game. First Deadpool movie in the MCU, X-Men MCU crossover event.
Yeah, we'll see.
Very exciting stuff.
It's going to take maximum effort.
Yeah, but they've got a team in place. And so we'll see what they end up doing.
We'll let you know how it is.
Yeah, here we go. Welcome to the real world. My name is Cameron, joined by Carson.
I'm Carson.
And we are just getting back from seeing Deadpool and Wolverine on the big screen, opening night.
Yes.
Man, this is the most anticipated film of the year.
It was.
This is the film that
For many people it was.
So many people have been talking about.
Mm-hmm.
The advertisements you can't escape. The hype is so high. I mean, we really haven't seen the likes of this since Endgame.
Well, Ryan Reynolds, if there's anything he can do, it's sell a movie.
That's for sure. He can sell anything.
He's a marketing genius.
He is, 100%.
First and foremost.
Yeah.
I think before he's anything else, he's a brand.
That's 100% true.
And honestly, it's impressive.
It is very impressive.
It's very impressive that
he's done very well.
He's managed to market himself and market this character and these movies in a way that people, after we were done with the screening, I heard people out of the theater say, "Man, I like Ryan Reynolds, the actor, and the person, not Deadpool."
Well, I mean, the two are almost synonymous at this point.
Right.
There's such a link between the two. There really has never been a marriage between an actor and a character like this.
Right. Even after an Iron Man movie, people don't say, "Man, I love Robert Downey Jr. He's just great."
Right. They love Iron Man. They love Tony Stark.
Exactly.
People talk about Tony Stark with those movies.
Right. Because he's an actor playing a character.
Right. Even with Hugh Jackman, they talk about Wolverine. Right. He's great as Wolverine.
Right.
So it's really interesting, and so
it's interesting because Ryan Reynolds does nothing else.
Pretty much, yeah. That's the only role he plays.
That's the thing he does.
He used to play other roles, but now he's basically this character in every movie.
Yeah, and why would he do anything else?
Yeah, I mean, it's very lucrative.
This is the smartest thing for him to do.
Sure. And people love it. People love it. That's the thing. Most audiences love
it. And really, there's nothing wrong with it.
Sure.
It's fine. Sure. If this is the thing he's going to do forever.
Right.
That's great.
Right.
It doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
My biggest problem with really all of the Deadpool movies is they're comedies that just aren't tailored to my sense of humor.
Yeah, sure.
So the problem is I can't really make any kind of connection with the movie.
Right.
Because it's a comedy and it's not making me laugh.
Yeah.
Because, again, it's just not my cup of tea in terms of humor.
Right.
So there's so many hurdles to get over to start to enjoy this movie for me.
Right.
I don't know how you feel, but I mean that rings especially true, I think, for Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about the positives. I think there's a lot to talk about here that's very entertaining.
Sure.
This movie, they go all out. I mean, they don't really spare any expense as far as the effects, the action. I even thought the music was really well done.
Sure.
A lot of big pop songs in there that are fun and hit at the right times, stuff like that.
Yeah, stuff we've seen before, jukebox hits.
Right.
And,
lots of
cameos,
lots of characters.
Cameos galore.
Tons of characters in this. Yeah. If you're a fan of the Fox movies, the Fox Marvel movies, that whole run of movies we had from 2000, well, before 2000, really, all the way through, before the MCU kind of came around. You're going to get a lot out of this. Mm-hmm. You are going to lose your mind at some of the insane moments that happen.
Sure.
I had no clue. The thing is, the trailer, I feel like it kind of gave a lot away, but it really didn't.
Sure.
I mean, there were tons of surprises. So that's what I like about what Marvel and Kevin Feige and them do, is they really are able to keep the secrets. Which I don't really know how they do it.
Can I tell you what was really weird?
That's incredible.
Starting this movie with the MCU logo.
Yeah, I know.
It was really weird.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
It felt
I
felt wrong.
Yeah, I kind of did.
Like when it started, it just hadn't registered in my mind that this was like it's really a part of the MCU.
Yes, yes.
And it doesn't feel it.
It kind of does. To me, it does because of how much they dove into the TVA. The TVA plays such a vital role here.
Sure.
I feel like since we watched Loki seasons 1 and 2, I felt like I'm so glad I watched those shows because I totally get what's going on here.
Yeah.
I feel like if you hadn't watched Loki, you might be a little lost. They do explain stuff. You know, there's some exposition dumps. You know, which they. What I like about this movie too is that it makes fun of itself.
Sure.
It makes fun of the MCU. It makes fun of that since Endgame they haven't really had a big hit. You know, it makes fun of all those things.
Sure.
So as fans who talk about this stuff all the time,
yeah.
It was kind of cool to hear like, okay, they're recognizing these things.
Right.
These things that have gone wrong kind of in the Marvel universe over the past few years.
Yeah.
So I like that aspect of it.
That's interesting because on the flip side of that, you have, in referencing itself and making fun of itself, it's constantly robbing you of the immersion in the story,
right,
and of the significance of the MCU as a whole,
right. And that's what all the Deadpool movies have had that problem.
Yeah,
they're first and foremost comedies,
right.
And like you said, if this is not your sense of humor, it's probably not going to work for you.
Yeah.
But if it is, you're probably going to really enjoy it.
Sure.
So for me, as a fan of movies, of comic book movies, of the Fox universe, I thought it was fantastic.
Okay. Yeah.
As a fan of cinematic storytelling, of fun comedies, the aspect of it that worked was the Deadpool and Wolverine relationship. I actually really liked that buddy pairing. It was a perfect. He's the grumpy guy who's serious all the time. Yeah. He's the joke,
right,
you know.
Right.
And they play into that in the story. So parts of the story even worked.
Sure.
But as we talked about on the way here, the ending is where it kind of falls apart for me. As is the problem with the other two Deadpool movies. They kind of undo what they did at the end of the movie. And so it doesn't have the weight, it doesn't have the emotional impact that I thought it really was going to have. Because the setup of the story is all there. It's all there. They talk about it throughout the film. I mean, it really worked. It was working for me until the end.
I was so braced for it to be for nothing to matter by the time the movie ended that when it did I was just numb to it. So I mean, again, these aren't for me.
Right.
I just don't jive with it.
Right.
There's really not much to even say at this point. My mind kind of just glosses over it. Well, at a certain point.
We'll do a full spoilers review later this weekend. This is just our reaction video.
Yeah.
So, again, if you're a MCU fan, a Deadpool fan, a comic book fan of these types of comic books and comic book characters, you're going to check it out. Everyone's going to go see this. I feel like we don't need to really promote it. It's been over-promoted almost.
Sure. Yeah.
Everyone's going to go see it. Go see it if you're planning on seeing it. Have a great time. Let us know what you think. I mean, we want to know what your thoughts are. Maybe you're a mega fan. You think we're totally wrong. We're crazy. Again, a lot of it worked for me. Okay. A lot of the movie worked up until a certain point.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So we want to know what your thoughts are. Do you side more with Carson? Is it not your cup of tea? Is it not what you kind of go to the movies to see? Is this the exact kind of film you want? Again, for me, there's so many moments that stand out that I'm going to remember I got to see that on screen. That was cool. I never saw that before. I didn't ever get to see these characters on screen together before. Sure. There's certain things like that what they do, I mean, obviously the yellow suit, we've been waiting for 20 years for that. All these kinds of things that I'm thinking about, I'm just kind of hyped up about because I'm coming off of the screening going, this is insane that we got this.
Yeah.
But when I rewatch it, I feel like that's going to kind of fall away a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
And much like,
it's a novelty.
The other Deadpool films.
They've always been novelties.
Right.
They're gags.
Right.
They're
exactly.
very dated jokes. They're dated by the time they come out.
Right. It's true.
And that is what it is. So.
Sure. Yeah. So let us know again what you think in the comments below. I think some people are just going to have such a great time with this.
Sure.
That again, it's going to make so much money.
It'll be very successful.
It's going to be very successful. Yeah. It's something we've waited years for. And on many levels, like I said, it did deliver on the premise of Deadpool and Wolverine. They're in the movie together the whole way through.
There is a Deadpool and there is a Wolverine.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So let us know what you guys think in the comments down below. Make sure you follow us both on Letterboxd. We're on there. We'll be writing our reviews out very soon, so you can check those out. Come back to the podcast this week. The big X-Men podcast. I got all my X-Men movies. Been rewatching all of them. Going to do a big review and ranking of every X-Men movie, including the Deadpool movies, including Deadpool and Wolverine. Curious to see where that's going to rank. For me and my two guests, I have two special guests on the podcast this week. Very excited to see what they think of it and all these X-Men films. It's been 24 years of X-Men. And now they're entering the MCU in a new way, which is going to be really interesting to see how they move forward with that. We'll talk more about that in our spoilers review.
Okay.
We'll save the rest for the spoilers.
All right,
review.
That's fine.
But thank you so much for joining us. Make sure you hit the like button, hit subscribe, hit the bell so you get notified of all our videos, and we'll see you next time right here on The Real World.